everyone, welcome back to our channel Dentistry to the Point. So now we are starting with the virtual giveaway series. So as we promised 4 videos. So yes, this is the first video of the virtual giveaway series and the first topic of demand was histopathology of dental caries. So histopathology of dental caries will be studied under 2 headings. The first is caries of the enamel and in the second part of the video we'll see the caries of the dentine. Now, before starting with the histopathology, the meaning of the word histopathology, as we all know, is nothing but microscopic examination. Okay, to study the microscopic examination of the disease, because we need to study the various manifestations of the lesion. So anything which we do microscopically is histopathology. Okay. Now, the caries of the enamel, the histopathology of dental caries, and starting with the caries of the enamel. So we all know that here comes the 4 zones and everything inside it. But before starting that, we'll see this, that the caries lesion of the process also varies slightly depending on the occurrence or the location of the lesions. Okay, so definitely their location or the occurrence of the lesion also plays a very big role actually. So let's see. So they're divided into 2 types based on the lesion, that is your smooth surface caries and pit and fissure caries. Now smooth surface caries are nothing but the appearance of an area of decalcification that is beneath the dental plaque, which resembles a smooth chalky white area. Okay, so definitely as the name suggests, like pit and fissure, that is which are present in the pit, fissures and grooves of the teeth, and smooth surface, that does not involve any pit and fissure, like the smooth surfaces of the teeth. Okay, so smooth surface caries usually present in the cervical margins and are referred to as white spots. Definitely cervical margins, or majorly they affect your proximal areas because those are the smooth areas. The occlusal area are filled with pit and fissures. But the labial, lingual, proximal areas are the smooth areas. So usually they affect the cervical margins and they are referred as white spot. Okay, and they are best observed on an extracted tooth, usually at the cervical margins, where they are referred to as white spots. Okay, the enamel surface overlying the white spot is hard and shiny and cannot be distinguished from the surface of the adjacent sound enamel using a sharp explorer. So as you know that when you see a pit and fissure caries, so there is a catch with the explorer, but here these are not distinguished with a explorer. Also, one more thing of importance to study, and actually this is more of a MCQ question usually asked in your exams, competitive exams, is that it is noted that the smooth surface caries, they occur on the proximal surface and they show a distinctive type of shape, that is they form a triangular or a cone shaped lesion with the apex towards the junction and the base towards the surface of the tooth or the outer surface of the tooth. So this is an MCQ or characteristic point which you need to remember, could be asked in your fill in the blanks also, that in the smooth surface caries there is a triangle or cone formed because of the lesion, progressing lesion or the lesion, there is a shape formed, a triangle or a cone shape is formed. So obviously it's going to have a base and the apex. So the apex is always towards the dentino-enamel junction, that is the DEJ, while the base is towards the outer surface. Even if the caries are involving the enamel and even if the caries are involving the dentine, this is going to be the shape, that is the apex towards the DEJ and the base towards the surface of the tooth. But this is contrary in pit and fissure, which we will see. So talking about the pit and fissures, so the caries lesion, they start along the fissure walls rather than at the base. Okay, so they actually start with the fissure walls, and the process in the pit and fissures, they do not differ in nature from the smooth surface caries except for the anatomical and the histological variations. So the caries lesion starts along the fissure walls rather than the base, and the visual changes such as chalkiness or yellow brown or black discoloration may be seen. If the enamel in the bottom of the pit or fissure is thin and the early dentine involvement frequently occurs, then obviously if the enamel is going to be thin, so dentine involvement will occur. When caries occur in pit and fissure, it follows the direction of the enamel rods and characteristically form a triangular or a cone. Okay, so now this is contrary to the cone or the triangle formed in smooth surface, because the apex here is towards definitely the outer surface, as you can see, and the base is towards the DJ. This is for enamel caries. Okay, while for dentine caries the base is towards the outer surface as usual and the apex is towards the inner surface. Like the apex here in enamel, the apex जो है that is towards the outer surface, but in dentine the apex is towards the inner surface, that is towards pointing towards the pulp, while the base in the enamel is towards the DEJ, while here the base is also towards the DEJ. So this is the difference here and here. So these are the two contrary differences here. Now before starting with the histopathological features, I would like to tell you that you can actually divide the histopathological or histological features into two types, that is your early lesions and the advanced lesions. Now actually this is not a categorization, I would say, because the early lesions are not the lesions. See, there's a little difference here between initial and early lesions. Early lesions are the first manifestations of the first changes which you see, okay, that are occurring. But initial lesions are the continuation of the early lesions which continue and they progress and they initialize and they advance. So this is a difference here. So here advancing lesions are not actually your advanced lesions or something state, but also they are in a state of initializing. Like after the early vision, what happens after the first manifestation, the disease progresses, that are your advancing lesions or initializing lesions. So obviously now if you remember your first year Orbin's dental histology enamel chapter, so we have read about the various things which are present in enamel like your rods, stria of Retzius, lamella, etc. So here those are going to be in work. So in the earliest or the first thing which is seen in a caries that is involving the dentine is the loss of interrod or interprismatic substances. Now as you know that your rods or prism, these are the basic functional unit of enamel. So the substances which are present between these rods are the interrod or interprismatic substances. So as the demineralization starts, because the enamel is affected, so there is loss of the interrod or interprismatic substances. Now because these are the substances which is loss is going to occur, so definitely there is prominence of the enamel rods, right? Obviously the substances in between the rods are now being losing or they have been reduced, so definitely there is going to be an accentuation or prominence of the enamel rods. Also in some instances there is roughening of the ends of enamel rods, suggesting that the prism may be more susceptible to attacks. Also there is accentuations of the incremental lines of Retzius because the interrod substances and everything is losing. So prominence of the enamel rods, accentuations of the incremental lines of Retzius, also accentuation of the perikymata. Perikymata is nothing but external manifestation of the stria of Retzius. So these are the early or the first recognized changes which are seen in the caries involving enamel. If we move to the initializing or the advancing or the progressive lesions, so as the process advances, it involves deeper layers of the enamel which are noted as actually many different zones, but the four visible and distinct zones we are going to see here. Okay, majorly these zones are categorized on the basis of pore volume and mounting medium used. Pore volume is nothing but, see, enamel, because it contains that calcium hydroxy crystals and everything, phosphate crystals and all, so it is porous definitely. So it's porous, so the pore volume, because it's going demineralization and remineralization in certain areas, so the pore volume keeps on changing. And the mounting medium, because we are observing this under a microscope, so definitely there is going to be a medium. So majorly categorized on the, because these 2 points are common in all the 4 zones, so that's why they are majorly characterized, you can say, on the basis of pore volume and mounting medium. So these are zone 1, translucent zone, zone 2, dark zone, zone 3, body of the lesion, and zone 4, surface zone. These zones are from the dentine towards the outer enamel surface, that is towards inwards to outwards. Dentine is inwards, right? So inwards to outwards.